Welcome back to Red Smoke Barbecue and round 2 of the Ironwood Virtual BBQ Competition. Now last week I took out just the narrowest of win over the field and 4 places ahead of Dave, and he's going to be hard to beat this week. So this week's theme is pork. So you can take any cut of pork and use that whichever way you want to make that the hero of your dish. So I think a lot of people are going to do some collar button pulled pork. I'm going to steer away from that. And where I'm going to go is pork belly. Now with pork belly, I'm going to turn this into a bit of bacon, so I need 7 days head start. And we're going to use the bacon because it's quite versatile. We can use it in a lot of dishes. We'll do some bites as well of some kind, but I think I'm going to put a Spanish or Mediterranean feel across this. Now I've got no idea what Dave's doing this week. He's been real cagey and won't tell me, so let's go over and see what he's up to.
Oh, hey guys. Now, before we go on, we better say a congratulations to our stablemate Dusty, who took out round 1 in the beef category. And I'm sure Dusty's just finished telling you about some wonderful piece of pork that he's been brining for 3 months, rubbed in Himalayan salts that he collected himself from the tallest Alps while fighting off snow leopards in a blazing blizzard. But the last time I checked, it was pretty boring sitting around watching your pork brine in the fridge. Now, I was going to do bacon, but Mr. Predictable's already done that, so I've had to do something a little bit different. Now, I'm doing a pork loin, and you think, well, what's so difficult about that? But I think the ticket to this one's going to be the crackling. If I can get that right, I think that's going to be the real winner on this dish. Now, I am going to up the complication stakes a little bit by trying to put this on the rotisserie first. So I've got a charcoal rotisserie already fired up, ready to go. All we really need to do here is clean off the salt. I pre-salted this last night. I'm going to wipe that down, pat that down. We'll skewer it ready to go for the rotisserie rod. Okay, so what I've done here is I've pre-oiled the rod so it'll slide through the meat a little easier. Just going to put it roughly in the middle, and then it should just slide through. I'll apply a fresh coat of salt. I'm going to transfer it there. I'm going to run it really hot and try and get that crackling really happening, and then I'm going to transfer that to the smoker and finish it off in there. Let's get this prepped. Let's get it onto the rotisserie and we'll start cooking.
I've got this great piece of bacon and it's huge. It's about 42 centimeters long and looks really good. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pat it down on both sides and just dry it off and get this ready. And man, it's a great piece of bacon. Look how heavy it is. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to slice off or take off the skin. Now I'm not very good with the knife, but I can get the skin off. It's probably better to get your butcher to do this. For the cure, we're going to use brown sugar, maple syrup, Cointreau, salt, and Prague powder 1. So give it a big stir in a bowl, and then we're going to measure out our vacuum bag. What we'll do is put that mixture, that all over there, that cure, all over there, reach into the bag, and then we're going to vacuum seal it. Alright, so this is now going to go into the fridge for a week, all sealed while it cures. Okay, so I've got my bacon ready. We'll just empty out that liquid and take a look at this. It's got a really nice colour to it. And we're going to put it in the smoker. So we're going to smoke this at about 225 to 250 Fahrenheit until the internal temp's about 165 Fahrenheit.
Right, so I've cut a couple of those strings off. There was probably a few extra on there I didn't need, and I want that crackling to be able to come up. I've skewered it and I've salted it. Not much else to do really, so let's get it down to the rotisserie. Let's get it nice and hot and get this crackling happening, and then we'll get it in the smoker.
Okay, for the pork belly and chorizo ragout, I'm just going to dice up about 750 grams of pork belly. I'm going to chop up an onion, 2 cloves of garlic, and chop up 3 tomatoes. Now I've got my cast iron pan over the firebox, and we're going to brown that pork belly till it's nice and golden in colour. We'll take that out, and then in that same pan we'll fry up some onions with some paprika. Put in our tomatoes and give that a good stir. Now, little bit more liquid, we'll put in a can of tinned tomatoes, some bay leaves and a bottle of wine. We're just going to get that until it's simmering, and once that's simmering, we'll put the pork inside it and we're going to smoke it in the smoker for a couple of hours, the same time as that bacon. While that's going on, I'll get some chorizo and some capsicum, fry that up, put in the pan, and once it's smoked for 2 hours, we'll put the lid on and let it go until we're ready to eat.
All right, now the crackling's looking really good. It's got some really good colour, nice and golden. Been on there for about an hour, but I'm going to transfer it to the smoker and finish it off in there. So we're just going to slide off the skewer, pop it in this aluminium tray. That'll help me catch any of the juices, and I might be able to use those a little bit later to make up a nice gravy. Just removing the end pins. Now we're going to pop it in here. I've got this sitting at around 275, so it should cook nice and fast. I'll just keep the heat up to it to keep that crackling going, and we're smoking over a nice bit of ironwood. Too easy.
All right, time to get this bacon off. Now the maple Cointreau really gives it a great orange flavour, and this is looking really good, 165 Fahrenheit internal. So it did get a little bit burnt because I was talking to Dave on the phone and the temperature went in the smoker a bit high. So we'll just cut that off and let's have a look and see what this looks like inside. Yeah, that's nice. And this is going to make some really good wrapped asparagus and those pork belly bites with the chunks of bacon in the middle. But what I'm going to do first is I'm actually just going to pour over some maple syrup, brush it over, and while it's still hot, let this soak in. Now, because this is cooked 165 Fahrenheit, it will need to be cooked again or fried in a pan before you can eat it. For our tapas bites or our pincho, what we're going to do is actually butterfly this piece of pork belly, and once we've done that, we're going to make up a little rub based out of coriander, paprika, salt, and pepper. We're just going to rub that in the inside, and I've already cut some thick centimetre and a half slices of bacon, and what we're going to do is actually lay those out on top and make a bit of a pork belly fat bacon sandwich. And laying those out in that nice layer is going to give it some different flavours and texture, and that fat's going to render through as well, and we'll get that bacon flavour. So put a bit more rub on, close the sandwich lid up. Now what we're actually going to do is we're going to smoke this for a couple of hours, and once we've done that, we'll then trim it and we'll put skewers through it and we'll cut it into those pieces, because once it's smoked and we put it in those pieces, we'll let it rest overnight, and then we're going to fry those pieces up again just to get some really nice colour and flavour on the outside of those. All right, well that was our cooks for the week, and Dave's looked like you saved a fair bit more time than what I did.
Mate, it was pretty short and sharp doing it on the rotisserie, but a lot more enjoyable than staring at your fridge.
Now you're telling me about gathering Himalayan salt and everything, but what's this? Is it 6 months to make sauerkraut? How long did you watch that for?
Oh, I must have known this competition was coming up, and I just planned ahead. That's the key, right? So plan ahead. No, it was just something that was had conveniently marinating in the back of the fridge, and at the last minute I thought this will work perfectly, so I just whipped it out for the competition. And it's actually, it's funny, it's one of those things that's gone to the back of the fridge, you forget about it, and now that I've pulled it out, I think I've eaten most of it in the week, so it was good stuff.
Well, good, so it's not going to come up in the next rounds to haunt me.
No, it's all gone.
Speaking of next rounds, let's have a look and see how we went.
Righto, bring it on.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Oh.
Huge score. 9.5.
9.5. Very good.
You know what? I think I've probably needed to put a bit of gap on the field. I don't want to say take it easy in the next one, but I think I'm running out of ideas.
That's a whole point above me. Jeez.
Let's have a look at the breakdown.
Presentation-wise, I think last week or last comp there was 2 people over 4 points, and there's everyone's definitely up their game there, haven't they?
You're going to have your work cut out.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's look at some of the other people that topped out pretty well in the scoring as well.
So we got Dennis Marr, and he did the pork knuckle on the rotisserie. Interesting to see another rotisserie in there.
Yeah, pork's pretty good on the old rotisserie. It's really pork and lamb, I think anyway, that come up really good on the rotisserie. So, but yeah, that was a pretty special dish. He's got a lot going on there on the sides too, hasn't he?
He does. That I'm going to say pizza bread, but I think it's actually focaccia. Is it a focaccia? No, it's a strudel. That's what it is.
Yeah, right. No, I would have thought. Yeah, that picture makes it look like a pizza too, but a strudel. That's flash.
And coming in third, I think we had Jace Pearson with the pork belly, burnt ends. And I've forgotten what type of Asian style bun it is. It's good colours, isn't it?
Great colour. Yeah, that looks delicious. Actually, it makes me hungry looking at that.
I put the ball of the burnt ends photo in there just to wind you up. Look at them. They're spot on.
No, they look sensational.
Nice one. Well done, guys. So, there's a few other good entries in there, but looking at second and third, we don't need to look at first again. We've seen that one twice now. I don't know. Look, I am a little bit worried. I was expecting they'd be doing ribs this week, and I had a plan to maybe take some of the bacon and infuse it on some of the ribs coming forward, but been thrown out seeing that it's lamb this week instead. So it's scratching a little bit for ideas. There might be a bit of a change at the top if I'm not careful.
Well, yeah, I think lamb's an interesting one on the difficulty, right? Like, what do you do that's difficult with lamb? I'm sure there'll be a bit of pulled lamb shoulder or something like that. And yeah, it'll be an interesting one. I've got a few ideas up my sleeve. I need to bring something, right?
A few racks, probably with some really nice colour in them. I've done leg before on there and comes out nice, but I guess it's really what you do with it once we carve it. And sides as well will be interesting. I think there might be some creativity needed as well. Nice. Well, that'll be coming up next week. So we hope you've enjoyed this episode this week. I certainly have, but that happens when you come out on top. I've got nothing to brine next week, but we'll see how that one goes. But if you like the episode, please subscribe. We greatly appreciate the following and the assistance it gives us. And we love making the videos, and we've got a few other recipes coming out. We've just started to push out the recipes from the competition cook. So the cheesy beef barbacoa recipe's out. So maybe have a look at that one next. It was a tasty meal. But yeah, we'll be keeping on pushing them out, and enjoy the channel. So until next round, see ya.